What if the first 60 minutes after you wake up decide who you'll become? Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, once wrote that each morning is a battle, not against the noise of the world, but against the weakness inside your own mind. You see, the way you meet the morning shapes the way you meet life. If you wake with purpose, you rise with power. But if you wake with distraction, you surrender before the day even begins. Imagine starting your day as a Stoic emperor, calm, unshakable, in control. No endless scrolling, no chaos, no hesitation. Just clarity, focus, discipline. Because in those first 60 minutes, you either command your mind or become its servant. In this video, we'll uncover 6 Stoic laws from the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, 6 timeless codes to master your morning and transform your life. The battle begins the moment you open your eyes. Law 1. Rise with purpose. What if the very first thought that greets you in the morning decides the direction of your entire day? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Yet most of us wake not with gratitude but with noise. Before we even rise from bed, we reach for the glowing screen, flooded with messages, expectations, and chaos. Say it with me: I am not my notifications, I am not my distractions. Because the first 60 minutes after waking are sacred. It's not just morning, it's your mind's reset button. Think about this. Neuroscientist from Harvard found that the brain's prefrontal cortex, the center for focus and decision-making, is most active and moldable in the first hour after waking, which means whatever you feed your mind in those first 60 minutes becomes your mindset for the next 16 hours. Marcus understood this 2,000 years before modern science did. He didn't start his mornings in luxury, though he was an emperor. He started them in reflection. Picture him, dawn breaking over the Roman camp, soldiers still asleep, the emperor sitting alone in his tent. No crown, no comfort, just a wax tablet and silence. He writes to himself, not for others. At dawn, when you wake unwillingly, let this thought be present: I am rising to do the work of a human being. Let that sink in. He didn't rise for fame. He didn't rise for pleasure. He rose for purpose. So here's your first Stoic exercise. Tomorrow morning, before your feet touch the ground, pause. Breathe in deeply through your nose. Feel the air fill your lungs. Whisper to yourself, "This is my privilege. This is my day." Then grab a pen, not your phone, and write one single intention for the day. Not a to-do list, not 10 goals, just one. Example: today I will respond, not react. Today I will practice patience. Today I will act with discipline. This one sentence becomes your compass. The Stoics believe that clarity is power, that when you begin the day knowing what truly matters, you become unshakable. And here's the science again. Studies from Stanford show that writing down a daily intention increases task follow-through by up to 42%. You literally rewire your brain to focus on what matters. So when your mind drifts, and it will come back to that sentence, say it aloud: I am the sculptor, not the marble. You shape your morning. You shape yourself. And here's the secret most people miss. It's not the alarm that wakes you. It's your why. Marcus Aurelius didn't need motivation. He had meaning. The modern world tells you to seek comfort. The Stoic world tells you to earn clarity. Every time you resist that instant scroll, you train the mind. Every breath of awareness, you win the invisible war. Because purpose is a muscle. And like any muscle, it grows with use. So say it again: I rise with purpose, not for applause, not for approval, but because to waste a morning is to waste a life. You have 400 seconds today. What will you do with the first 600? If you win the first hour, you win the day. If you win the day, you win the life. So tomorrow, when the alarm rings, don't reach for your phone. Reach for your soul. Breathe, smile, and whisper the words of the philosopher king himself: waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. You've just risen with purpose. And now the next Stoic law will show you how to protect that purpose by mastering the one force that shapes all others: your mind. Coming up next, Law 2, rule your mind before it rules you. There is one empire every human must learn to rule, and it's not made of stone or soldiers. It's the empire within your mind. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, ruled over millions, but the greatest battles he fought were silent ones inside himself. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let that echo in your mind, because most people live as slaves to their own thoughts. They wake up and before their feet even touch the floor, anxiety, comparison, regret, fear already rule their morning. Say it with me. My mind is my servant, not my master. That's where mastery begins. You see, your brain creates over 60,000 thoughts per day. Neuroscientists estimate that 90% of those are recycled from yesterday. That means if you don't train your mind, it will simply replay the same old stories, the same habits, the same limitations again and again. Marcus understood this cycle centuries before psychology gave it a name. He trained his thoughts like a warrior polishes his sword daily, deliberately, relentlessly. Every morning he asked himself, will I be ruled by impulse or by reason? That question, simple but powerful, is the difference between chaos and control. So here's your Stoic morning exercise. When the mind begins to race, stop. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4, breathe out for 6. Then ask, is this within my control? If yes, act with calm focus. If no, release it. This single habit, repeated daily, rewires your nervous system. In fact, studies from the University of Wisconsin show that people who practice mindful response instead of emotional reaction reduce cortisol, the stress hormone, by 32% in just 2 weeks. Marcus didn't call it neuroscience. He called it discipline of thought. He said if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke. Feel that. The storm isn't outside you, it's inside your judgment. And if you can control the judgment, you can calm the storm. Let's make this practical. When you're cut off in traffic, pause and ask, can I control the driver? No. But you can control the story you tell yourself. He's not attacking me, he's rushing through his own chaos. When someone criticizes, you pause, can I control their words? No, but you can control your response. Their opinion is not my truth. When plans fail, pause, can I control the outcome? Maybe not. But you can control your effort. I will rise again. That's the Stoic code. The mind obeys the one who questions it. Remember what Epictetus said, the teacher of Stoic emperors. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Marcus lived this every day, even through war, betrayal, and plague. Historians tell us that during the Antonine Plague, when thousands were dying daily, Aurelius would walk among his soldiers, calm, present, unshaken. While others panicked, he wrote in his journal, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That is not just philosophy, that's emotional alchemy, turning obstacles into opportunities. Say it with me. The obstacle is the way. When you repeat that something changes, you stop being the victim of your thoughts and become their commander. So here's your daily training. 1 morning mental check-in. After you wake up, before your phone, ask, what emotion is present in me right now? Name it. Don't judge it. Just observe. 2, control audit. Write 2 columns within my control and beyond my control. Spend 2 minutes sorting your worries. The first column becomes your action list, the second your freedom list. 3, reframing ritual. When you face something hard, whisper. This too is fuel, because for the Stoic, every difficulty is training for the soul. Reset moment, breathe in, breathe out. You are no longer reacting, you are responding. You are no longer trapped in thought, you are shaping it. The greatest empire you will ever rule is the empire within. Marcus proved that if you master your mind, you can endure anything. So tomorrow when fear speaks, doubt, whispers, or anger knocks, remember you are the ruler, not the prisoner. You command what enters your mind. You decide what stays. As Marcus wrote, a man's life is what his thoughts make of it. So make yours a kingdom of clarity, calm, and courage. Because if you can rule your mind before it rules you, no external empire, no chaos, no opinion can ever truly own you. Say it one last time with me and mean it. I have power over my mind. Not outside events. You've just taken back control of the most powerful force you possess. But the Stoics remind us discipline isn't just about the mind. It's also about the simplicity that strengthens it. Coming up next, Law 3, simplicity is strength. You've ruled your mind. You've tamed the chaos within. But now Marcus Aurelius would ask you something deeper. If your mind is calm, why fill your life with noise? This is Law 3, simplicity is strength. Marcus wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself in your way of thinking." The Emperor of Rome, the ruler of the most powerful empire on earth, said that less is what makes you strong. Strange, isn't it? Because the world today tells you the opposite, that happiness lives in more goals, more stuff, more noise, more achievements. But the Stoics knew that clarity thrives in simplicity. Say it with me. What I remove defines me more than what I add. Every decision, every distraction, every notification costs you energy. The average person checks their phone 144 times a day. That's once every 10 minutes. Studies show each interruption breaks your focus for an average of 23 minutes. That means many people never truly concentrate for even a single hour in their entire day. Marcus didn't have a smartphone, but he battled the same human addiction, the need for noise. He wrote, "If you seek tranquility, do less, or do what's essential and do it well." That's the essence of this law. Do less, but better. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning, your phone is on airplane mode. You make your bed. You pour a glass of water slowly. You eat breakfast without scrolling, without rushing. No background noise, no chaos. Just presence. That's not laziness, that's leadership of the self. You start your day by showing your mind, "I choose what enters my world." Simplicity is not about having less, it's about needing less. And that is real freedom. Seneca, another great Stoic, said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." When your desires shrink, your peace expands. So how do you practice simplicity in the first 60 minutes of your day? Here are 3 rituals the Stoics lived by. 1. The one focus rule. Choose one meaningful task that defines your morning, not 5, not 10, just one. If it's journaling, give it your full attention. If it's training your body, train with silence and intensity. Remember, scattered focus is weak energy. Directed focus is power. 2. The decision diet. Every choice consumes mental energy. Research from Princeton University shows that people who simplify their early day decisions, what to wear, what to eat, what to do, first have up to 47% more mental clarity later in the day. That's why successful people from Steve Jobs to Obama wore the same outfit daily, not for fashion, but for focus. Each decision you eliminate in the morning is one less leak in your willpower. 3. The silent 10. Before you dive into the world, spend 10 minutes in complete silence. No phone, no music, no talk. Just listen to your breath. Marcus often began his mornings this way. In silence, he could hear the only voice that mattered, his own reason. Say it with me, silence is my strength. Because when the world is loud, silence becomes your superpower. The Stoics believed that simplicity builds resilience. When your mind no longer depends on noise, you become unshakable. When you stop needing constant stimulation, you rediscover your power to create. Look around, the average person consumes over 34 gigabytes of information every day. That's like reading 124 newspapers daily, but remembering almost none of it. The Stoic doesn't consume everything. He chooses carefully what enters his soul. Marcus wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." So what color is yours? Is it calm or chaotic? Every morning you're the painter. The question is, do you paint with intention or noise? The Stoic way says, remove what dulls the mind and what's left will shine. Reset moment, breathe in clarity. Breathe out clutter. Remember, strength isn't in doing more. It's in mastering less. The soldier who carries too much cannot run far. The thinker who fills his mind with too much cannot think deeply. Simplicity doesn't make you weaker. It makes you unstoppable. Marcus ruled an empire not by adding more, but by removing what didn't serve his peace. So tomorrow morning, before you open your phone or calendar, ask yourself what is truly essential. Do that and nothing else for the first hour. You'll feel your mind sharpen, your energy return, your purpose reappear. Because as the Stoics teach order, your soul and the universe will follow. Simplicity is strength, not because it makes life easier, but because it removes what makes it impossible. Strip away the unnecessary, and what remains is you, the focused, the calm, the strong, the one who doesn't chase everything but chooses what matters. Say it with me one last time. Simplicity is strength. You've cleared the noise. You've made space for focus. Now it's time to test that focus, to face the one enemy that weakens even the strong comfort. Coming up next. Law 4. Conquer comfort. The greatest threat to greatness isn't failure. It's comfort. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You were not born to lie in warm beds, but to act." He understood that comfort slowly weakens the soul, not because it's evil, but because it whispers softly, "You've done enough." Say it with me. Comfort is a cage disguised as peace. Think about it. Every empire that fell not from battle, but from softness. The same happens inside us. When life becomes too easy, purpose begins to fade. Comfort gives pleasure, but struggle gives meaning. Marcus ruled Rome during one of its darkest times, wars, famine, and the Antonine Plague that killed millions. Yet each dawn he rose before the sun. He meditated, he wrote, he led. The man who could have lived in luxury chose discomfort daily because he knew ease destroys the warrior. Effort builds him. So let me ask you, when was the last time you did something hard on purpose? The human body and mind are built for challenge. Science confirms it. Researchers at Harvard Medical School found that exposing your body to short bursts of discomfort, like cold water or fasting, activates resilience hormones, strengthens immunity, and increases dopamine by 250%. Marcus didn't know the chemistry, he knew the truth. He wrote, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. Life isn't a performance, it's a battle. Each morning when you choose a small discomfort, you're training for the larger ones life will bring. Say it with me, if I can suffer the small, I can conquer the great." Here's how the Stoics practice this law and how you can too. 1. The cold challenge. Start your morning with 30 seconds of cold water, not to shock your body, but to awaken your spirit. Marcus faced snow and war, yet still wrote about gratitude. If he could endure the winter of the world, surely you can embrace the chill of your shower. Each second you endure rewires your brain to say, "I can handle life." 2. The discomfort walk. When you feel mental resistance, that voice that says, "Not today," walk toward it. Wake early. Read when you'd rather scroll. Train when you'd rather rest. Because every time you choose discipline over comfort, you strengthen a neural pathway called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, the part of your brain that controls willpower. 3. The stillness test. Sit in silence for 5 minutes every morning. No music, no phone, just you and your thoughts. Most people can't last 60 seconds without stimulation, but a Stoic seeks discomfort in stillness. Because silence is not empty, it's full of answers. Marcus said, "Just that you do the right thing, the rest does not matter. Every time you act with discipline, you reclaim power." Let's be honest, we all crave comfort. It feels safe, it feels good. But the Stoics remind us comfort never made a person proud. You will never look back and feel alive because you hit the snooze button. But you will remember the days you rose early, trained hard, pushed through fear, and refused to quit. Because the body may crave ease, but the soul craves excellence. Say it again. The body seeks comfort, the soul seeks growth. When you practice voluntary discomfort, you turn pain into power. Seneca trained this daily. He wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself, 'Is this the condition I feared?'" In other words, test yourself before life tests you. That's the Stoic way: preparation, not panic. Because when life hits hard, and it will, you'll already be ready. Remember, muscles grow by tearing. Diamonds form under pressure. Minds evolve through resistance. So when you feel discomfort, don't escape, embrace it. That's not punishment. That's your training ground. Marcus Aurelius faced pain, sickness, and betrayal, yet his writings radiate peace. Because true strength isn't avoiding pain, it's transmuting it. Say it with me. Pain is not punishment, it's preparation. So tomorrow morning, seek one small challenge: a cold shower, a run in the rain, a silent meditation. When your mind says, "This is too much," whisper back, "This is how I grow." Because comfort is where potential dies, and discomfort is where destiny begins. The Stoics believe the obstacle is the way. When you learn to love the challenge, you stop fearing life. You no longer hope for an easy path. You become the strong traveler who walks any path. Marcus wrote, The blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. So become that fire. Let hardship feed you. Let discipline define you. Let discomfort refine you. Say it one last time. Comfort is a cage. I was born to act. You've conquered comfort, learned to turn pain into power. But the Stoics knew that strength is not only built through action, it's guided by reflection. Coming up next. Law 5, reflect before you react. We've learned to rise with purpose, rule the mind, simplify, and conquer comfort. But the Stoics believe true strength is not in how fast you act, it's in how calmly you respond. This is law number 5, reflect before you react. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And yet, how many times have we given that power away? One comment ruins our mood. One message changes our day. One moment of anger destroys what peace we built. The Stoics warned you can control the world, but you can always control your interpretation of it. Say it with me. Between what happens and how I respond, there is choice. Think about that. Every argument, every setback, every disappointment passes through a single gate, your mind. And if you don't guard that gate with reflection, emotion storms through. Marcus knew this. He faced betrayal, jealousy, and the constant pressure of ruling an empire. Yet his writings remained calm, almost serene. Why? Because he practiced pausing before reacting. He wrote, "If anyone can show me that what I think or do is wrong, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone." This was not weakness, it was wisdom. When you react instantly, emotion owns you. When you reflect first, you own emotion. Modern science now proves what the Stoics lived. Neuroscientists at UCLA discovered that labeling your emotion, simply naming it, reduces activity in the amygdala, the brain's fear center, by up to 40%. That means when you pause and say, "I'm angry" or "I'm anxious," your brain begins to calm itself. Naming gives you power. Reacting blindly gives it away. So here's your Stoic practice for reflection. 1. The pause principle. Before reacting, breathe. Count to 5. Feel the emotion rise and fall like a wave that passes without drowning you. Marcus would write to himself each morning, "Today I will meet people who are selfish, ungrateful, deceitful, but they cannot harm me." He didn't wait to be triggered. He prepared his mind before the storm. Reflection begins with preparation. 2. The journal mirror. After your morning reflection, write one question: what emotion controls me most? Anger, pride, fear. Then write what that emotion costs you when you obey it. Journaling is not just self-expression, it's self-examination. Studies from Cambridge University show that daily expressive writing lowers emotional reactivity and increases emotional intelligence by 15–20%. The Stoics did this every day. Marcus's meditations were never meant for anyone else. They were his therapy, his reflection. 3. The perspective flip. When conflict hits, imagine you're seeing it from above. From 30,000 feet, your problems look smaller. The world keeps turning. Marcus practiced this mental zoom daily. He wrote, "Observe always how ephemeral and worthless human things are: a drop of time, a grain of sand." This cosmic view breaks the illusion that every irritation deserves a reaction. Now think about how this applies to modern life. A text from your boss, a negative comment online, a partner's words that sting. The untrained mind fires back instantly, seeking control through reaction. But the Stoic mind waits, reflects, and in that small pause, power is born. Viktor Frankl, a modern Stoic soul who survived concentration camps, said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response, and in our response lies our growth and freedom. That space, that pause, is where all freedom lives." So tomorrow morning, before opening your phone, take 5 silent breaths. Ask yourself, what kind of energy do I want to carry today? Because reflection is not passive, it's preparation for excellence. When you reflect before you react, 3 miracles happen. Your decisions become slower but stronger. Your emotions become softer but deeper. Your relationships become calmer but more real. Marcus wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." When you refuse to mirror negativity, you become untouchable. Say it with me: My calm is my strength. And remember, the calmest person in the room always leads it. The Stoic doesn't avoid emotion, he refines it. He turns anger into courage. He turns pain into patience. He turns reaction into reflection. So tonight before you sleep, write down one question. Where did I react today instead of reflect? Don't judge yourself. Just see clearly, because awareness always comes before mastery. The goal is not perfection, it's progress in presence. Marcus said, don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Stick with the present situation. Reflection brings you back to the present, the only place power truly exists. Say it one last time, I reflect before I react. Because the man who masters his reaction masters his reality. You've now learned the fifth Stoic law, the discipline of reflection. But there's one final step. The Stoics believe the purpose of wisdom isn't self-centered peace. It's service to something greater. Coming up next, Law 6, serve something greater. You've learned to rise with purpose. You've ruled your mind, embraced simplicity, conquered comfort, and mastered reflection. But the Stoics taught one final truth, the one that gives life its highest meaning. This is Law number 6, serve something greater. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." These words weren't poetry, they were philosophy in motion. Because Stoicism isn't about detachment from the world, it's about engagement with clarity, courage, and compassion. The final test of wisdom is not how calm you become, it's what you do with that calm. Say it with me. Purpose begins where comfort ends. Marcus believed every human being was a cell in the body of humanity. He wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings no benefit to the bee." In other words, if your life serves only you, it will shrink. But when your life serves others, it expands beyond measure. Think about it. The people we remember, Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, didn't chase fame. They chased duty. Epictetus was born a slave. Seneca was exiled. Marcus ruled through chaos. And yet each left behind words that outlived empires. Because they lived not for pleasure, but for principle. Today's world teaches the opposite. Do what makes you happy. Follow your feelings. But the Stoics warned happiness is not the goal. Contribution is. Research at Harvard tracked people for over 80 years, the longest study on happiness in history. It found one truth: meaningful relationships and purposeful work, not wealth or comfort, predict lasting happiness. The Stoics already knew. Marcus wrote, "A man's worth is measured by the objects of his devotion." So ask yourself, what are you devoted to, comfort, ego, or something greater? The Stoic path begins within, but it must end in service. Here's how to live this final law. Start your day with gratitude for others. Before you rise, think of one person whose life you can make lighter today. A message, a call, a smile. Gratitude expands perspective. Studies show that writing down 3 things you're grateful for increases life satisfaction by 25% and reduces depression symptoms for months. Marcus began his mornings this way, by reminding himself of those he served: Rome, his soldiers, his family, humanity. 2. Transform work into worship. The Stoics believed every act, no matter how small, is sacred if done with integrity. Marcus wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to love, to act." Even your morning routine can be an offering, a ritual of gratitude to existence itself. So when you wash, eat, write, or build, do it with reverence. Because excellence in the smallest acts strengthens the soul for the greatest ones. 3. Shift from success to significance. Success feeds the ego. Significance feeds the spirit. The Stoics didn't measure life in titles or possessions, but in the good done to others. Seneca said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." So make service your strategy. Help quietly. Give without recognition. Leave people better than you found them. Because your legacy won't be your words, it will be the lives you touch. Marcus faced death with serenity. He wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." He didn't fear the end because he lived for something eternal. Each sunrise, he reminded himself, "This day might be my last, so let me serve with strength." Imagine if you lived that way, waking up not just to work or survive, but to serve, to be useful to others, to contribute, to uplift. That is Stoic immortality, to live so well that your life continues in others. Say it with me. I serve something greater than myself. When you serve something greater, life stops feeling like a burden and starts feeling like a blessing. Because meaning isn't found, it's given. Every act of kindness, every moment of patience, every disciplined morning adds light to a world that desperately needs it. So tomorrow morning when you rise, don't just ask, what do I want? Ask, what does life need from me today, and then act on it. That's how emperors are made, not by crowns or conquest, but by service. Marcus Aurelius ruled the greatest empire on earth, yet his greatest victory was over himself. He served with humility, led with compassion, and died knowing he had given everything he could. That's the Stoic ideal. Not fame, not comfort, not even peace, but purpose. A life that means something. Say it one last time: I serve something greater. Because when you rise with purpose, rule, your mind, simplify your world, embrace discomfort, reflect before you react, and serve beyond yourself. You no longer live as a mere person. You live as a force. The kind of force that Marcus Aurelius would have called a citizen of the universe. This is the Stoic Morning, the first 60 minutes that can transform your life. Remember, you were not born to drift. You were born to rise. The battle begins each morning, and greatness begins with you. These 6 Stoic laws aren't just theories, they're a code of conduct for those who wish to live like emperors without a throne. If these words moved you, if they reminded you that discipline, purpose, and presence are still the highest forms of power, then share this message with someone who needs to rise stronger tomorrow. Because the world doesn't need more noise, it needs more wisdom in action. Subscribe to Making Life Better and join a community of modern Stoics who wake each day with intention, who build strength not from ease but from effort. Like this video if it reignited something in you. Share it if you believe the world needs more calm warriors. And remember, you can't control the world, but you can master the first hour of your day. That's where transformation begins. Now comment just one word below discipline. Let's see how many warriors of the morning are still here rising with purpose.